I was out in my car. It got way too dark. So I'm back inside. It's fine. Um, so, one of the things that I'm a big fan of is the fact, or the thought, that relationships act like romantic relationships, friendships. They act as a growth contract. It's the idea that you get something out of every relationship that you are in and seeing it as a growth contract. Now, the more intimate those relationships, and by intimate I mean like the more they know about you, the more close you are. So best friends, life partners, spouses, those kinds of things, girlfriends, boyfriends, those things, those people. And this is my test. It's like, I want a place for unconditional love and accountability. There's accountability in that. That doesn't mean that I let them get away with everything. It means that I provide space for them and they keep themselves accountable. But I provide space for them when there are hard things that they're going through. And I love them through those things, regardless of what happens. Now, that doesn't mean that I choose to stay with people who are abusive. That's not the whole idea of unconditional love. Unconditional love is loving them enough to let them go if you need to. And that's unconditional love. And unconditional love is, hold on just a sec.
You look nice.
My kiddo brought me tea and cookies. So unconditional love. Unconditional love, it has to be that both parties are engaged in this actively. Unconditional love. And what this looks like is that both sides, you remove the manipulation and you agree to remove the manipulation. Like, I need you to be like, we're not going to play games. Ever. Because that's what gets in the way. That's manipulation. I'm not going to sit here and try to turn your head. You know, as the woman, what is it, from My Big Fat Greek Wedding? I'm not that person. So I will remove the manipulation. I will honor that. Does that make sense? And then be brave enough to love. That's the big one. You have to be brave enough. Because love requires bravery. Good Lord. Being vulnerable requires so much bravery. So much bravery. And so you've got to be able to commit to being brave enough to love each other. Can you do that? And that's the big thing that gets in the way these days. It's like people are not brave enough to love. And that makes me sad because we could experience so much more as human beings. You've got to allow space for each other. You can't be all one human. You have to have boundaries with each other. And so, because you have to be able to have your life, and if you've got career goals, you've got to be able to chase those career goals. That doesn't mean that you're like, okay, bye. It means that you support each other. It's like, well, we're going to do what we need to do in order to make this work for you. And then maybe taking turn, like, now it's my turn. We chased your goals. Now we get to chase mine. And you make agreements. That's not necessarily what you have to do, but you agree that you're both going to be able to have your individual lives. What is that? What is that like, right? And still have your boundaries and respect those boundaries. Like, if they need space after an argument, give them space after an argument. I'm going to hold you to a standard that you have to still talk to me eventually, but I'll give you space. You've got to let go of them while they deal with their own issues too. Like, everybody's going to have issues. You're not going to be perfect when you get into a relationship, and you can't expect yourself to be perfect. You can give them space. This is unconditional love. I give you space to handle those issues right now. Am I going to be responsible for them and healing them? No. That's on you. I can't heal them for you. I can love you while you try to heal them. And we can set up boundaries so it's all safe for all of us. I think that's so important. Love them through it, though. Like, you you have to love people. Again, be brave enough to love, even when it hurts. Even when it hurts. And even when you have to love them at a distance. Because sometimes you have to do that. If they're really going through it, but you know that they're a good person, you love them from a distance. Communication. This is a big one. You have to be able to talk to each other. You have to trust each other enough to tell each other things. This is where unconditional love comes in. Because truth requires unconditional love. If I'm going to be honest with you about everything about me, I need unconditional love there. Like if I mess up, I need to be able to come and tell you and work through it with you. Unconditional love. If I'm struggling with an addiction, or if I'm struggling, like, not saying that I am, but if that's the case, you have to be able to work through that with the one that you love. And you have to make space, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in that. You have to make space for people to do that. And you do that with clear boundaries. Space where you need it. You need to discuss your expectations for the relationship and agree upon them. So whatever you expect, you've got to come to an agreement, because it's an agreement. It is a marriage as a growth contract, because you're both growing and learning, because we won't know until we're in there, right? But your expectations are discussed, right? And agreed upon. Like, I expect for you to be able to do this. I expect for you to contribute this much. I expect for you to love me when this is happening. I expect this. And everybody's got to be like, I agree. And then do it. Like, follow up. Be the stand-up person that does it. Love is action, not necessarily words. You can say you love people all day long, but until you put the action in, it doesn't mean anything. Changes are negotiated. If you need to change something about the relationship, you negotiate. It's a give and take. If there's something that person is uncomfortable with, the negotiation has to happen. And maybe you negotiate that you can't be together anymore, but you're still unconditionally loving each other. Because you're like, I love you, but I can't do that. I won't work well with that. And that's the honest truth. Does that make sense? God, I keep asking you, as though y'all can answer. Yes, it does. Okay. There is accountability with love. You hold each other accountable. You don't just gloss over all the issues and pretend like everything's okay. Because accountability is how we make it through conflicts, because you're going to have conflicts with your partner. That's just how things go. If you can hold each other accountable, you can get through pretty much anything, I'm just going to say. And if you'll allow each other to be held accountable, that requires some ego deaths right there. That's ego death right there. Allowing for flaws while encouraging growth in areas with kindness and empathy, and balance. Okay, that's the big one. You need to encourage each other to grow. You can't just keep each other stagnant. That's not fair. Push each other, make each other better. Why not? It'd be good. Why couldn't you grow? So marriage is a growth contract. Marriage is like unconditional love. Marriage, relationships, friendships, close friendships should all involve these pieces of these, like bits and pieces. And that leaves space for you to be you in the relationship and not to just fill a space. But anyway, y'all be good. I'll talk to you later. Bye.